concluding in a 3-0 loss.
Some things about this draft, though, that are going to give some pause, I think, for PSG is one, Kongye on a much more active early playmaking champion. You don't have to have that Cyclone to still make Wukong count. It's one of the reasons he's been so popular, even if he's fallen off a little bit.
And he can carry.
He can carry. That's the critical thing, right? You have the opportunity to do exactly that. And I think, in addition, you look at down the line, your top lane, unless you give it some help, it might be in trouble, but you can give it some help there. The LeBlanc in the mid, you're going to rely on Uniboy to try and get some skill matchup going. And Lilvi should be able to shove in Unified, but the question is going to be, like, how well can they build the advantages and then go from there to turn it into map control? Because they ceded so much ground after getting it early last time. I do worry, but we will see if things change. J-Team have to know. Tournament's on the line here. Their season is on the line. If they want a shot at the playoffs further on, if they want a shot at Worlds, PSG, looking comfortable. They got 2 games banked up. One of them they totally stole away, but hey, you know what? When it's gifted to you, you take it.
Came on a silver platter. And they went
it
ahead.
Was still tough to chew through. They had to go 48 minutes to come back, and look at the start. Unified Kaiwing already bullying Enzo.
Not what you would expect, right? Coming in from a Yumi lane, but it is level 1, so auto attacks do play a pretty good role. And yeah, they're just taking these really nice auto trades. Getting the zone off the minions is even more impactful because that will delay the level 2. Hongre going from buff to buff. Maybe we end up seeing a level 3 gank. That would be a much needed change in approach as they look to shift their attention from the mid lane over to the bot lane.
I'd like to see that. It definitely is Kongye special as well. And with the cat on, Prowling Projectile, they hit the level 2 earlier, finding the damage. And yeah, Unified and Kaiwing have definitely stepped it up in this series. I got to give them credit on that one. I love to see this Yumi in Kaiwing's hands because we've talked about tank supports and engage supports and how that has given him a boost. But he has been known as an enchanter player in his career, and things like the Bard were a big play. But I love this Yumi, and it was just a wonder why it took so long for them to start playing it. They stepped a little too far forward, but they're still able to get out safely enough.
Yeah, now Kongre is moving his way back top lane, so we won't see any early action from this Wukong into the bot side. And okay, this is
as you said,
passing.
He's on Crab at the moment, but we could be in for the jungle 3v3.
Yeah, he comes.
Okay.
He goes buff to buff, starts heading him back up to the top side. Then he decides to come back into that bottom half. That's a lot of time burned out. However, he might be given the double crab as compensation, and if he's able to do that, that does remedy some of the stranger decisions that has been happening apparently this entire split or series.
Yeah, it definitely has been a little strange. Hanabi outlasting the initial burst of damage from Rock, building up that Gnar bar, checking in on the top. This is a matchup that Hanabi knows incredibly well. Rock should as well. A lot of experience on both top sides. And, ooh, Ori, he was chunked out. Didn't see what happened there. He zoned that tower, going to have to back away and spend that recall. He even burned Flash earlier. Didn't catch it. But Uniboy didn't even use his own summoners.
Yeah, Uniboy now, of course, with the extra Ignite pressure. Maybe this is that 1v9 opportunity that Uniboy could take. Wasn't able to quite pull it off with the Silas, even though he definitely had a very, very good start to the game. In fact, you might even say he had a great start in both of the games, right? Because there were a bunch of ganks coming into the mid lane in game number 1 that paid off. Unfortunately, on the Swain, unable to just force 1v1 kills. Much more of a team fight player, and while he did play these team fights relatively well, it just wasn't enough to compensate for everyone else.
I think it's been fair to say that of all the J-Team members, Uniboy has had the best performance thus far. Part of the issue is, game 1, Lilvi just never got to scale. Rock kind of wasn't able to play out the matchup as well as he could. Game 2, Rock looked better because they had a lot of pressure from the jungle. Uniboy was still playing even better than Gory without that pressure. And Lil V did okay in the lane phase, and they were actually able to stay alive despite the pressure that was being put on them. But yeah, overall, individually, Uniboy's done solidly. It's just League of Legends is a team game. Here we go.
Okay, there we
Ooh,
go.
chains missed.
And
that actually ends very abruptly.
Because the chains didn't land, no kill comes through, but a scenario where the chains do land, that would have been a kill because Gory not level 6 until now, and without flash. So with the chain landing and the ignite, just a little more damage from Kongre would have been more than enough to finish that one off.
Starting to see the level 6s come through. Kongre spotted on the Scryer's Bloom, actually, and hitting level 5 compared to Burry's 4. Keep in mind, the Dragon starting off is Action Infernal. Pretty hefty to fight over as well. Burry looking to go for some counter jungling of his own. Throws up the pillar, try and contest on the Gromp. Could come down to a smite fight, but Kongre with the level advantage should be able to get that one, and he does.
Nice little take there, secure that little chunk of gold for himself. However, for PSG, everything's under control. You have bot lane being able to shove in, get a reset, top lane able to get a free reset as well.
Mid lane stabilized, despite the flash loss. Yeah, I mean, this PSG feeling happy. It's a slim gold lead, obviously, but it feels like if J-Team aren't able to make a play, they don't force it, PSG know exactly what happens next, and they're comfortable with it. I mean, and that is the issue, right? If you're predictable, well, then you're easy to outplay and outmaneuver. J-Team are going to have to mix it up here.
I think, like, for PSG, they don't need to do anything in this early game because they just played game 2, right? Where, hey, we were behind a bunch of gold, J-Team, they were ahead, they just didn't know what to do with it, so we'll see if that happens again. Like, we don't necessarily need to change our game script because we're already up 2-0. We have that extra leeway in this game number 3. So onus is all on to J-Team to show us something different, and this could be it.
Ooh, Flash Dominus into the Cyclone, even though he hops to relative safety. Can't quite get there in time. Rock burned all of his tools to get it, but he got first blood for himself.
First blood obtains. Really, really nice there up in the top side. As they do expend double ultimates to do so.
Ooh! Into level 6 Lightning Crash. They do have that advantage. The final chapter is going to be dodged a little bit. Lil V taking quite low. The flash forward! Whoa, the 2v2 kill! Unified!
No way.
Stepping it up. That was brilliant. Meanwhile, on the Herald, all of a sudden, this game's starting to get a little spicy.
And this is sort of why we haven't seen J-Team play towards topside, because Lil V, Enzo haven't quite been able to hold up their end of the bargain. And now this is a very top-heavy draft for the side of J-Team, so they need to win this 3v3.
Okay, Burry, the chains are on him, actually taken quite low in this, but the Orb Deception does the same thing as well. Uniboy zoned out. Here comes Kongye into the back. Will be able to get that deletion off as they tag their way through it. Another charm into the orb. Kongye gets the wild growth, stays alive. Oh, that's pretty big, but here comes Meganar as that smite comes down. Rock will be able to secure it. Very close call. So J-Team walk out with the kill and the objective, but just barely.
Oh, I am actually really surprised that Hanabi and Gory don't just try and take the 2v4 themselves in that moment, because of how low Uniboy did get taken down, and even though Enzo made his way over, they had ult advantage because Rock and Kongre have burned their ultimates in the gank onto Hanabi. So I feel like it was just a little bit of miscommunication on what tools were available on the side of J-Team. As Uniboy, he does go in, gets a good chunk, but the response is there from Gory. Unfortunately, though, unable to secure the kill. And
so
with the
close.
flash
Look
from
at that charm landing.
Yeah. Great flash from Enzo, really saved the day. And then they turn around, get the smite off, secure the objective, and get a bunch more health for Kongre on top of it.
And that's sorely needed, right? Like, that level of decisiveness and outplaying hero moments, that's exactly what you need if you're J-Team, because you got to get back into this one. Enzo really kept that play alive with Flash Wild Growth, and there we go. So, let's see what they can get done with it now. 10 minutes elapsed on the game clock, a slim gold lead for J-Team, but PSG are moving into enemy jungle. Bury has got Kaiwing on his back, and they'll just get that ward clear out. It's just gonna get replaced immediately.
Look at bot lane.
Yeah, what a big difference.
Already at 100 CS.
Enzo was gone.
Far ahead.
Enzo wasn't able to get in here. Now Kongye, he's going to turn around, but look at the damage they push onto him. And the Lightning Crash is easily able to do it with that secure from the Ignite. All of a sudden, 3v2. And they push in for the plates. PSG's bot lane off to the races.
So exchange plating up top side, but it is that Renekton who still will peak when it comes to scaling. Right? Even though he has done well for himself, if you all of a sudden stop playing towards top side, you aren't able to fully snowball around this Renekton, which we need to see more out of. And the big problem, the big looming problem, is this AD carry out ahead 20 CS will be able to continue to get another play down in this bot lane, perhaps. And maybe they even try and get more as we get to see the replay on the situation. Kongre goes in, but this is a Yuumi.
Oh,
you can't just run into
no idea. Yuumi. They turned right back around. Yes, he gets the knockup. Enzo and Lilvier are zoned out from the final chapter. Yeah, Kongre did just not have a chance, and that misstep, it's going to cost you. As we're starting to see the turnaround yet again. 2-2 now in kills. The Dragon advantage for PSG here with that first Infernal pickup. And Mythic's starting to be bought. First one was actually the Shurelias.
Well, that's big, right? Because then Bury just becomes even more of a menace. He has so much move speed with his W, and he can take away move speed with his E, and you throw on the extra movement speed from Shurelias on top of the fact that it's a Yuumi. There's a lot of Yuumi things happening here, Pyra.
Yes, a lot of Yuumi things. And the cat has been showing up strength to strength. Yes, big zooms. I'm well acquainted with this as a cat owner. Oh man, but yeah, like it just baffles me that it took so long for the PCS to realize that this was such a huge pick. And well, I guess specifically PSG Talon are looking specifically even better with it. And Uniboy going in, misses the chains out. Here we go, the Yuumi on to Bury as we are getting some ward wars here in this river. Kongye going in. Let's see what the Lightning Crash for Unified, though. He does find some damage, but not nearly enough, as they have so much more. But Gory with second wind effort. Now here rushes and gets rooted down, taken out by Uniboy. But meanwhile, Kongye with that wild growth on, staying alive. Uniboy won't be so lucky. The turnabout for both mid lanes with J-Team. Pretty heavy investment of players on both sides. Hanabi was even roaming as he arrived just at the end of that fight.
And this is yet another positive trade for the side of PSG, because even though J-Team, they do get that 1v1 kill for Uniboy, this is a 2-0 Zeri. This Zeri is going to be a menace. And they don't have really any point-and-click CCs for this champion as well. So it's going to take a lot of effort to get on top of this champion, and she will be offered opportunities to bail out any sticky situations and reset a fight.
Kongye going to try and help Rock win this top side. The focus continues as the Narvar was outlasted. Dominus flash into the stun, and no Mega, but he tries to kite it out. He's burning. I don't think he can close that gap as Rock will shut him down. But meanwhile, we're going to be seeing the mid laners battle it out again in the mid. But Unified, he was the one taking on Uniboy, who gets the full channel popped into him. And that's going to be their answer to this Zeri right now, is let the LeBlanc do the dirty work. Bury finds Kongye. It's Kaiwing on a roam with them. They'll try to stop this tower from going down.
They want this. Yeah, they know Dominus isn't available, and they also have the help of tower, so they're actually able to hold on to what's left of that top lane tower HP. We'll be able to deny. Nice. Yeah, it holds off on the gold infusion right now for J-Team. And look, J-Team, They have the 1-kill lead, but they're down the dragon, and apparently they're down in gold because of the tower difference. So again, it's even though they are finding kills, they aren't finding the actual consequences for those kills, which are objectives.
That is the difference. PSG always making something of their situation.
And it's
JT
Herald.
a little bit resting on the laurels. Another Herald play with the top side. PSG, they get that one, and let's see what they can do with it. JT losing out in the gold game even more now. Bury completing his Divine Sunderer. Spike's coming through.
Yeah, and even though there isn't a big tank to be able to drain the stats out of, right, for Bury on this Trundle, the amount of utility he still brings is going to be immense. And when Rock or Kongra do jump in, you can easily just turn on to them because it makes them from a bruiser into a very, very squishy target.
Yeah, I really like this Trundle so far, and I think it's shown up a lot more than like something like the Xin Zhao, which is definitely a comfort zone champion for Bury. Because it's not just about the subjugate, right? It's about that pillar. It's about controlling the choke points. Ooh, Konga taking a lot of damage, but does dodge out on the charm. That could have been the difference maker as the dragon is live. Rock with an early TP comes in here. Hanabi doesn't have his, so he'll have to go the long way around. But J-Team aren't in full position just yet, so this dragon will not be started. And Herald's actually been popped in mid. PSG are hoping to get something one way or the other.
Yeah, there's no one around this mid lane, so they can't clear it out. It's just going to be a free Rift Herald push. And for J-Team,
another charge too.
They have to be decisive because otherwise it will just sort of rumble down the mid lane.
Oh, Konga is clone tanked a lot, but that dragon's going to reset here.
Hanabi
Uniboy
Mega.
looking for a charge on. Hanabi does get that Mega popped up, and well, the dragon's still being flipped over here. This is quite a weird situation. Konga does eat the charm. That could be all the difference they need as he goes in with wild growth, but gets popped down. Yuumi once again stepping up. Kaiwing even getting the kill credit on this one in Unified. He's going to Spark Surge back away to safety. Rock in the middle with the Dominus. Does he have enough damage to take Bury out of the fight? I don't even think he does. No, Spike for the health. PSG just running train here as they get themselves 2 kills and will take the dragon as spoils. On top of it, they got the tower in mid. It's all PSG talent.
This feels a little bit premature, but I think that might just be the time of death, Pyra. Because
you're calling him earlier and earlier, Nightstar.
18 minutes into the game, down to big stat dragons. It's only going to be an Ocean Soul on the table for J-Team. That's not enough comeback stats. When you have a Renekton, when you have a LeBlanc, and when they have an out-of-control Zeri, I don't think there's enough left in the tank for J-Team.
J-Team are not on the same page. You can see in this fight that Konge wants to fight for the Drake, but Rock is looking for the flank. It just doesn't work out either way. They split focus. Rock, he knows he's deep in here. He tries to take Bury out and make it more of an even 4v4, but Bury just smites for the health. PSG just are so much better in these chaotic moments when things go not according to plan. They know what to do. They're so much better at improvising because they've been in these situations so many times. J-Team, they struggle, and this continues. This is worrisome.
Remember, the stakes of this series. If J-Team lose this game, they will get 3-0'd out of Worlds contention for PSG.
Right, and out earlier than they were in spring. This would be a lower bracket quarterfinals loss. J-Team have not been able to make it to Worlds since 2019. It was the LMS representing this region.
They want to make a play. Kongra does have a fantastic flank angle, but is the reinforcements there?
I don't know if they are. Here comes Enzo and Lil V. That's got to be the go button if anything is. They look for Unified, but he's able to Spark Surge over the wall.
He'll get turned on.
That's going to be Gory here. Is he getting safe? I don't know. Finally gets bursted down. The teleport coming a little bit late as Kobe does some work on that knockup, but nonetheless, the Yuumi Zeri is huge. Hanabi just needs that hit on the boomerang, and that is what he will get. Rock with the last bit of the dominance. That shove on the Gnar. The polymorph comes through. The tower shots are huge, and now they might be able to do it under the tower, but nonetheless, they still maybe lose even more here. Uniboy, Lil V, Rock all low on the health bars, and The 3-stack still feeling like they can fight this despite the numbers disadvantage.
Oh my god. Unified just missed
Oh.
the burst fire. And now
Uniboy! Here we go! Unified! He tries for it, can't quite get the kill, but he's going to nearly get Rock anyways. But they bite off more than they can chew. That shutdown to Uniboy as he splats the cat. And J-Team just barely survived the onslaught.
This is the smallest margin of hope. This is as hopium as it gets because PSG, for once, they're the ones to overextend themselves and go for these kills. They smelled the end of this series. If they were just cleaner just a little bit on the turn, it would have been pretty much game over, series over. But Unified, you'll see later on, does miss out on a couple burst fires onto Rock that allow him to stay alive. They immediately turn onto Torian. This starts out well, but you aren't able to apply pressure onto Yumi Zeri. So Yumi Zeri, this is the moment that they really take control of the fight. The Mega Gnar is good enough, but unfortunately
Hanabi gets
the kill
stun locked under tower though. Yeah, he takes so many shots. It definitely was some misexecution. That being said, they get the tower and they have that other dragon advantage. Look at the damage flipping this fight. Yeah, Yumi Zeri real good. Just a little too over aggro, a little too zoomy. Bit of a sugar rush. What can you say? These things happen sometimes. I mean, have you ever seen a cat with the zoomies that just like runs like nearly into a wall? I think that's basically what happened.
Yeah. And Unified is almost to 3 items. Once he gets the completed IE, which I really hope he does go for it here. It could be the GA, right? The extra stasis, also a cheaper power spike if you're just trying to all in for this next dragon.
Close call. Very close, but he gets out. Kaiwing able to get back, holds his nerve on that one, and he picks up the Chemtech Putrefier.
Cut down some of the healing coming in for the Renekton and the Wukong.
Also helps when you think about the fact that this is a Ocean Rift coming through today. Second item completed by the Gnar, the Black Cleaver. Hanabi going to be getting onto those side lanes, dishing the damage. He can also team fight it out quite well. Dragon's live. PSG looking to set up in position here. The choke point, Uniboy has been pretty fabulous in finding these picks. He finds half of Murray's health bar. Not enough to take him down, though. It's going to be the start of the Drake. Kong a little bit punished.
Heal comes through.
Now, chase. No charm.
The fight lines getting a little bit messy. J-Team, this is going to be really hard for Lil V to fight it out. Why? Because he has 2 more flanking-oriented solo laners, and the healing from Yumi getting buried back to the half health.
Watch Hanabi here. He doesn't have the Gnar bar, though. Looking for a flank around the side, but not able to get in position. This dragon may just be flipped. PSG can afford to give this one up, so they don't want to put themselves in a compromising fight position. As the dragon sets back over, they're still going to try and fight through this, and J-Team getting cold feet again. Here comes Uniboy, goes in, doesn't get a full combo channel off. Dragon still aggro. 4,000 hit points. Here comes Rock on the Dominus, finding Furry, trying to stay alive. He does actually go through it. The smite does come down onto the dragon in favor of J-Team, but PSG win out the fight. Rock is down. Hanabi throwing the boulders. Here comes the Yumi Zeri, finding the burst fires, finding the zooms, finding the lasers, and Enzo's health bar getting depleted, but they can't quite get the kills, so they will.
They can turn for Baron, maybe. They could look to try and turn for the Baron buff. 20 seconds on to Rock. Low health bars on the side of J-Team. They will need to be reset the situation. But PSG, they don't push the issue. They don't decide to press. And that's also okay because Zeri almost hitting critical mass gets yet another kill into her pocket. She was just okay. I was going to say she is moments away from IE. And I was just a moment too slow on that one.
These things do happen. In PSG, they were a moment too slow on getting maybe 3-4 kills. That would have absolutely been the Baron. As it stands, PSG can still get here faster to set this up and get the vision control that they want. Even though they give up the dragon, that's okay. It's just an ocean, a single ocean in an entire, ocean, I guess, as the rift is slightly submerged this time around.
And there's just, even though, you know, just any extra little bit of stats is nice, the Ocean doesn't change these fight dynamics.
They're fast fights, right? The regen matters much more in the long-term fights.
Yeah, and the healing did also get cut on these Ocean Dragons anyways, so the value not quite there, and the Yumi will outdo any of that anyway.
That's also a good point.
Bye.
Ooh, looking for another hunt. They find Lil V. He's forced to flash away, but the pillar is huge as they get him in there. And Rock trying to lock up the rest of the team, but let's see if they can actually take him. He's down in this fight, so that's the turnabout on both AD carries. Rock is able to take Kaiwing out of the fight as well without the main damage dealer. That's going to be the chase on. They get the charm land, no combo. Here comes Kongye with the bop over the head, finds Gory. J-Team find the decisive fight. They get 3 for 1. What can they do with it?
The unfortunate thing is they do lose their Sivir, so they need to wipe them out here if they want the Baron.
Hanabi. Meganar was looking like he was maybe able to lock him up for a bit there as well. So yes, despite losing the fight, PSG don't give up an objective over this one, as J-Team don't really have the damage to take down the Baron. Without that
And
Sivir.
this, once again, comes back to the core issue for J-Team. Even though they are finding kills, they don't get anything out of it. It's just the kill gold. There's no dragon going down. There's no tower going down. There's no Baron going down. There's no consequences for these punishes. And PSG, they know, like, as long as we continue to deny gold away from Lil V on this Sivir, they don't have any late game. It's all predicated then on this, on the dive coming in from LeBlanc and Wukong to delete our Zeri. Otherwise, well, Zeri just free hits all day, every day.
Yep.
This was a bit
that
of
was
a
fun.
blunder, though. Gory,
I get surprised by it every time.
Just greeting his flash just a little bit there will end up costing
Yeah.
both his flash and his life.
It's been good punish. Just, yeah, capitalizing on that has not been something J-Team have been able to do. Map State's kind of to blame for it there. Another Dragon coming up in about a minute 10. 3 Adam Zeri versus 2.5 from this Sivir. They've done a good job of keeping Lil V down, who has been a big win condition for J-Team throughout these playoffs. Uniboy has been having a good game himself, but this LeBlanc, the stonks kind of fall off a little bit as the game goes deeper and deeper. You want to get the execution, you're not able to do that as people get tankier and get MR built. Especially if these dragons start to come into play, yeah, even with the negated or lowered healing factor.
And this might be J-Team's strongest point in the game, right? They have double penetration items completed on to Uniboy. You have double stasis available on Rock and Kongye. Until they hit 3-4 item Sivir, this is as strong as they get. This is as oppressive as they will be. But on the flip side, you have a Banshee's Veil to deal with. You have the stopwatch on the Zeri to deal with. So even though you might be able to flash onto Unified on the Zeri pick, he can still continue to buy time. And PSG looks like they're going to get this objective for free. Even the threatening factor coming in from J-Team, they're too slow at starting out the Baron buff. There is no threat onto, again, the alternative objective. Yet another objective they've just given up for free.
They just don't pull the trigger when they realize that they have been caught out. They back away. They get a few wards cleared. That's about it. It puts PSG at soul point without really having to do much for them on that side. So everything just going in their favor now. And PSG, they are in full control because J-Team have just given it over to them yet again. And this is their world's hopes. This is their playoff hopes on the line, Nightstar. If this doesn't motivate you, nothing will.
Perhaps feeling the pressure of the moment as well, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that just one mistake, they're knocked out of World's contention.
But not doing anything is also a mistake.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And Uniboy is really trying. Rock is trying to contribute as well. Kongye. There is a lot of veteranship in this roster. You have to imagine that with all these players who've been in the scene for such a long time, there wouldn't be that issue. But it seems like it's been sort of Korea, Uniboy, or bust. If they're not going and forcing the issue, everyone else is willing to hang back and wait for the situation to play out itself.
Yeah. So we just see the wards shuffling back and forth on the 30-minute mark of the game. Very even gold game, but the Dragons, the tempo, tell a very different story. Bury does get caught with the chains and poked out by the Baron as well. So that's going to force him to reset. J-Team have an opportunity.
Can start moving into top river to clear out vision. Instead, they just say, all right, we got a big chunk onto the jungler. Let's just clear out a minion wave in this mid lane. And now they start moving over, but Bury's back to full health.
Yeah, not only that, about time for Unified to complete. Oh, that laser! Oh boy!
Does that taste purple?
Yeah, and every other color of the rainbow, I think. Uniboy gets clipped as well.
He was seeing stars.
There's 4 items, Zeri. This stings.
Yeah. GA completed onto Unified. Even if they do get onto him, he is going to be able to go into stasis, buy more time, and then reset himself over the wall.
Narbar, it's almost there. PSG just saying that they can go ahead and bait this one out, and it's going to be the full bait as they look for Rock. The dominance is on. That Nard does not go where they wanted to with Charm, and they're going to be able to delete Konge before he can pop his ultimate, and all of a sudden the chase is on Rock, losing the dominance shortly. He's forced to flash away right back to the Baron. They can go.
Boy, it's all on the back of him. Rock does have the teleport. He will be teleporting back into this, but he doesn't have dominance and he doesn't have flash.
And they don't have a smite either. PSG know all of this information. It's going to be on the remaining members of J-Team to peel them off the Baron or just stomp them into the ground. And the choice will be neither.
Or J-Team concede the objective for free. 2-kill advantage for J-Team leads to a 2k gold deficit for some reason. And 2 dragons down and now a Baron down.
Make it make sense, Nightstar.
Maybe the replay will make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
We get to see the
This
chase
was a great
come out
charm,
from
by the way.
This was a brilliant angle for Korea. I love that he's looking for this, but I also love the fact that PSG know that's their only way to win this fight. They catch him out, punish him. That's all the team fight left out of J-Team, and PSG. That might be the final blow.
You called time of death quite a while ago, Nightstar, but J-Team, I think they're still moving, but they are looking a bit more shambolic. Perhaps they're zombies at this point. They're seeing their tournament lives really just come to an end. They need to stay in this one. They need to find a win. Otherwise, they just get swept out of the PCS Summer Playoffs and not even in the top 4. This is the 3rd seed. Yes, PSG were the #1, but it wasn't a huge difference in the total wins. They even traded in the head-to-head, but in the playoffs, J-Team have just looked lost, looked indecisive. And it has punished them multiple times. Here is the push. Here is the play. Let's see if they get those ones. They get the stasis pod from Unified. Kaiwing, he's going down as well. Gory trying to be a hero. That is J-Team pushing it back. That's exactly what they needed as Hanabi's about to go mega, but they juggle on this aggro. They juggle on the PSG damage cooldowns. We were just critiquing that decisiveness. Hanabi gets a massive Narsha, but it's just buying time as the chase is on. J-Team needed this more than anything, and they'll get the wipe out without losing a member. The ace comes through at 34.5.
A clean ace, and they get an objective off of it. It will be their 2nd Ocean Dragon, but once more unable to fully punish PSG because they can't get a lot of map pressure off of this. It really is just those extra gold coming back into their pockets. Long last, J-Team
push.
They at least play their cards. And it pays off this time off the back of Kongrye being that decisive factor. And that enables Uniboy to then go forward and continue to pump out damage with his cooldowns. So, you know, at the very least, we see them bite back. But this could yet be another game J-Team lose with a pretty sizable kill advantage.
Yeah, the difference has been what's come off the back of those kills, right? PSG have been able to get objectives. PSG have been able to transition the numbers advantage into something, and unfortunately J-Team haven't. Yes, they get a dragon, but they don't push down for towers. They don't have a Baron to take. They don't have anything else they can get because even though they find the great fights, PSG, they've been in a position where it's hard for them to be punished. So while it has been J-Team struggling, I also do want to commend PSG for, yeah, even when they overextend, it's kind of a lower risk overextension.
Yes. And Hanabi has Mega. He can look for a flash play.
Yeah, Konge can also look for another good knockup, but they've caught him here. Forced to clone out. A little tricky.
So now the win condition is almost online for J-Team, right? It's
Lil V.
the Sivir, who is incredibly fed. If given the opportunity to get a couple autos in, he will be able to decimate PSG. And that is really all the hopes and dreams of J-Team here in this upcoming fights, which could happen in 100 seconds around that Baron, or it could happen in 3 minutes around this next dragon.
Full build comes out for Unified, though. Got to keep in mind, this Zeri has become a terror. Even though
the Runans will be able to output a ton of damage against the front line of J-Team, right? They're very much in your face. It's a sort of a budget Sivir build to a degree, right? Because
a little bit.
Now you have your own ricochets.
That's true, but I wanna draw your eyes a little bit, Nightstar, just a little bit down beyond that Zeri build. There is a Medjai's for Kaiwing. I mean, it is well documented. Yumi is a reader, even flies around on that book. But that was not the one I expected. No stacks at the moment, but I do admire the confidence from Kaiwing. He's definitely got a swagger back.
Swagger back on 3 items.
Yeah, that's a damage dealing Yumi.
Doing a lot of work here, and he gets one good fight, then of course those pages will be filled pretty quickly. That will really amp up his damage. Now we're just gonna kind of have
and an amp tone.
Have a little bit of quiet time, right?
You'd think there's about 15 seconds on that Baron.
Bury, okay.
He respects it.
Steals away the crab.
Okay, Hanabi has Mega, but it's going to be running out sooner or later, so PSG won't be in the position to take the fight barring a catch. They do find some damage on the rock. That's going to be the on the hunt. Turning on Unified, a lightning crash, and he's going to be able to not get away from that one, but so much damage to follow through. All the same, Bury goes down as well. They don't have an execution. They don't have the kill. J-Team, this time, the decisiveness pays off huge for them. They needed to do it again, and they find the cleanup. It'll turn into Baron.
Oh, man. J-Team, at long last, they've arrived onto the rift, perhaps. It only took 38 minutes into game number 3. Backs, I don't know if you can say backs against the wall. It's as back against the wall as you can get.
It is better late than never.
They're like, this is like when you're one finger hanging onto the cliff, right? But somehow, yet they managed to hold on with that very, very strong finger. And that name, the name of that finger is Kongrye.
Yeah, this is a long metaphor, but you got there at the end. And also a long game as we're getting close to 40 minutes in. PSG going to respawn in time, but I don't know if they're going to be able to contest this dragon up against the Baron empowered side of J-Team, and that would put soul point equalization both ways.
They could still look to flip though, because they do have the GA back available.
Yeah, but keep your eye on Kongrye. He's got the flank angle. Without eyes on him, PSG, no, this is going to be tough. Oh, the turn!
Spot him out now.
He's going to get a knock up, but will it be enough to actually get the kill? Here's Unified trying to back away. They do lose Bury. No smite there. So that's going to be the back off. J-Team will be able to take this. And yeah, The Sivir WinCon, it's online.
Very much online. And now it's 3 dragons to the name of J Team. Yes, the individual dragons won't make much of a difference, but the extra soul might. With the extra sustain offered up, that might give them enough staying power in these fights. And for PSG, they're starting to run out of damage themselves, right? The Gnar is going to run out a little bit here. The Trundle is great utility, but he isn't a big damage dealer. And then Gory on this Ahri pick, going for a more utility build rather than full damage. So he is also lacking.
J-Team realized that they have the advantage, that they need to stay alive, and they keep pushing, grabbing towers now, moving into the game, moving into the map, and opening up more by picking up that standing gold. They've got the gold edge, and it's flipped back over them on the back of a couple fights. Also, 2 needless rods for Uniboy, so he's not done dealing damage just yet. He's going to complete his 4th item soon enough, and that is a big Bursty LeBlanc.
And it's a lot of damage just targeted at Unified. So that is sort of the drawback of these item builds coming in from PSG, is that there's no reason for J Team to target anyone else, because they the other members of PSG aren't building damage. They are not a threat to Lil V on the Sivir pick. And Hanabi, no Gnar bar. This would be a pretty interesting fight, as Baron's about to time out and there's no objectives except the base available.
Well, if they win the fight, that makes the difference all the same. Jet timer's quite long here, just about 42 minutes. Game. Kongye is sniffed out, and that utility pillar still coming in handy as he tried to sneak in on the Warrior Trickster.
We are starting to get to those item caps, and maybe if they do get that death cap completed onto Gory, that might start making a difference. But for sure, for Unified, he's peaked on items, so this is as strong as he can get.
What if he sells the boots?
To sell.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sell the boots. Maybe he goes for a BT to add extra sustain, or maybe some heal cut, because JT might get themselves that Ocean Soul. We'll see.
Still some game to play yet, it appears. J-Team looking to try and get a collapse on the flank using the brushes. Bury is caught, bursted, and he's got himself an ult, though. Big heal to keep alive, and they found Lil V, but they can't find the deletion. The final chapter partially dodged out here, and Kongye is caught. PSG looking on the chase, but he gets out thanks to Ninja Strike Warrior Trickster, or does he? As they get the hop over the wall, forcing the flash away. Bury again going far forward in the second charge. Kongye coming back looking for Hanabi, but the tank is there. They managed to get him into stasis, but Bury will be the first casualty to fall in this one. You can see the damage falling off. Kongye going in for a tank, but the Yumi Zeri is still huge, or is it huge enough? Rock in the back is not going to do the damage, and on that resurrect, they take Lil V out. I can't believe it, Night Star. PSG are doing it again.
Oh,
Uniboy
for these kills.
Uniboy
on his own, and Uniboy will find the kill.
But it's just chase on chase. Enzo's down. What is happening?
1-man advantage. Pyra. No objectives up available for another minute.
PSG are looking though. They're moving around. There's nothing to take on the map. The fight's indecisive. It's 2 for 3. Uniboy manages to get something back for it by getting Gory out of the game, and oh, this is so close. It's so tense. It could either be a sweep or the start of a comeback.
As things stands with these death timers, it's actually inconsequential, because everyone will be up in time for the fights. Soul on the line, Baron on the line, base on the line, series on the line. Oh, just a chance to sniff at a world spot on the line.
For the first time in 3 years, make that be known. But with the teleport on Baron is live. PSG are first on the scene. They go for this one, but J-Team, they've come back to life in this. Maybe they were zombies, but it's the dawn of the living J-Team. It would appear that Baron flip does go the way of PSG with Kongye caught in the back of the pit. Uniboy trying to make the play happen, but they take him out. They take out Kongye as well. And Rock, Lilvi, and Enzo are going to watch their hopes and dreams crumble to dust as PSG hold strong, hold firm, delete everyone but Enzo off the map, and there's nothing that Lulu can do. I don't know if that tasted purple, but it certainly was bitter as they have to swallow the pill of defeat.
That's a wave coming into the mid lane. It's a wave coming into the bot lane. And with these death timers, 30 seconds plus. That just may be it. That should be it, of course, right? It's full build. They'll just tank up these towers.
That's GG.
And PSG keep their hopes and dreams alive.
Shutting out J-Team 3-0 despite a monumental effort by the J-Team members. They got the late game condition. They got the Sivir online. Uniboy was an absolute hero, but when it came down to it, the Baron flip, the fight, PSG thrive in those moments, and J-Team will go home for the rest of the season.